See, spirituality is understanding of God. And the deepest understanding of God you come to know through this 9th chapter, the king of all secrets. And then he says, understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So he explains about his energies initially. A son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. And people have this conception that a form is superimposed upon God, because human beings, we interact with other human beings. We superimpose a human form on God. So if Vedic scriptures are explaining that God has a form, ultimately he has a form, and the energy is emanating from him, then naturally a similar conclusion should be present in other scriptures of the world. And it's very interesting that in the Bible there is a statement which says that man is created in the image of God. God has created man in his own image. So God comes first and then the image of man comes. People who are Mahatmas, they have taken shelter of the internal energy of God, Devi Prakriti. Actually, every verse of the Gita is not different from Shri Krishna. It's not different from Shri Krishna. If we actually read it in that consciousness, that is there, it will actually uplift our consciousness.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam.
So Prabhuji, we start with chapter 9. Chapter 8, you ended with talking about how remembering the Supreme Lord Krishna at the time of death, sent us to a state of liberation, even though during the course of life, our karmas, whatever they may have been. But for you to do that at the time of death, you need to practice it progressively over a period of time, really, and not just at the end. Now, chapter 9 continues and that on that path of devotion to Krishna. And I was reading somewhere, if you look at the Gita, chapter 1 is about introduction. Chapter 2 and 3 are about imparting some knowledge to us, some confidential knowledge to us. People write and say, chapter 7 and 8 is imparting a lot more of confidential knowledge to us. And everyone says that chapter 9 is the most confidential knowledge to us. So what is this confidential knowledge about? What is this specific gyan, what they call idam gyanam of chapter 9?
Yes. See, suppose I have to gain some knowledge about you. I do nowadays. I'll go
ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini.
Yeah, I ask them, tell me a little bit about Deepak Gupta ji, and it'll give a lot of information that you have been MD, CEO of Kotak Mahindra Bank, this, that, your educational qualification, all that. That's also knowledge. But then, deeper knowledge than that is knowledge about maybe the ups and downs of your life. Certain things which may not be openly available on the internet, which only you know and you can only share.
Right.
That is more confidential knowledge. The most confidential knowledge will be, number one, where and all you have invested your money. That I don't know. So how much money you have, where you have invested it, and also your relationships in life.
Yes.
Who are very close to you, whom you have a very heart-to-heart connection, and there could be others whom you have a relationship with, but may not be very close. These details is the most confidential part of your personality.
Correct.
Isn't it? So similarly, even when it comes to God, a general understanding of, his energies, etc. is given in the various scriptures, about divinity is given in the scriptures. But a more detailed understanding of his energies was given in the 7th chapter, for example. More confidential.
Yeah, that was more confidential.
More confidential.
Yes.
He said that earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego, these are my energies, separate energies. Then his apareyam itastanyam prakriti vidhime param. Para prakriti, which is jiva.
Jiva in itself. Right?
Yes. So all this is more confidential knowledge. A detailed understanding of the energies of God And the most confidential knowledge is going to be his personality, his relationships. Once I know about your relationships, once I know, have a deeper understanding of your investments, etc., I'll have a deeper understanding of your personality.
Absolutely, yes.
A thorough understanding of who you are, what kind of a person you are, that I'll come to know. Similarly, see, spirituality is understanding of God. And the deepest understanding of God you come to know through this ninth chapter.
I see.
God's relationships. And also God's personality. We come to understand it in a more vivid way.
That's interesting.
That's why it is called the most confidential. So, Krishna he explains here. Idam tu te guyyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave. Guyya. Guyya is confidential. Guyyatara is more confidential. Guyyatama,
Most confidential.
most confidential. This is the most confidential knowledge. Idam tu te guyyatam pravakshyami anasuyave. Jnana vijnana sahitam. There is both theoretical knowledge
And realized knowledge.
realized knowledge. Jnana vijnana sahitam. Knowledge that can be realized. Jnana vijnana sahitam. Yajñātva mokshasya shiva. You'll be freed. Moksha, liberation. You'll be liberated from all inauspiciousness of life once you understand this. That's how he begins it. And then he qualifies this. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam, the king of all education. Raja Guhyam. Again he is using the word Guhya. Secret or confidential. The king of all secrets. Pavitram idam uttamam is pure, highest. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. As explaining, right? Pratyaksha, Anuman and Shabda. Pratyaksha is directly perceivable. So, actually, the most confidential knowledge can be directly experienced and perceived, provided we qualify ourselves for it. It's Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. See, this is very interesting. See, when it comes to modern science, using what do you call pratyaksha, empirical knowledge and rational knowledge, we come to certain conclusions. And we come to the conclusion that electrons exist. Correct? And because so many theories can be explained by accepting the existence of electrons. So many theories, so many phenomena can be explained by accepting the existence of electrons. But a day may or may not come in our life where we can actually see the electron. So spiritual science is a step above material science. Because here Krishna is claiming Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. Knowledge about God, it makes sense. Rationally it will make sense. And empirically we observe so many things. See the interplay of the gunas and all, which Krishna explains in the Gita, which are things that can be observed. A lot of things can be observed. But actually the existence of God also can be perceived through direct sense perception, through purification of the senses. So it is going to become pratyaksha one day.
I see.
We start with Shabda and then we use Anuman along the way, but ultimately we will reach Pratyaksha. We'll be able to see God directly. So Pratyakshavagam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. And see, Krishna is going to also touch upon Bhakti Yoga here. See, Bhakti, love and affection is the ultimate way of understanding God. See, this is true even in ordinary parlance, isn't it? The more you develop love and affection in me, the more you will reveal to me your secrets.
Correct. Yeah.
So, in order to be able to understand God, we need to develop love for Him. And the path of the yoga of love is Bhakti Yoga. And see, love is something that everybody desires. It's a very pleasant emotion. So that is why Krishna is telling, this path is susukam, joyfully performed. It's very satisfying. Bhakti Yoga is satisfying. Susukam kartum avyayam. And it's avyaya. It's
unparalleled.
Everlasting. Everlasting. It's not destroyed even at the time of death. And then, he speaks about a very interesting Ashraddhadhana Purusha. Again, he kind of emphasizes the role of faith to start this journey. He says, Ashraddhana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, or conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So we begin with starting to put faith, Shabda. See, modern science, it starts with empiricism and then rationality, like that. But spiritual science starts with Shabda, then it goes through Anuman, rationality, and then finally it ends with Pratyaksha, empiricism. You directly are able to see God face to face.
And
But
that belief part, I think he has reiterated quite often. Right through it.
Because it's a foundational principle.
Yeah, you need that basic thing.
You start with that.
Acceptability.
Yes, you start with that. And then, see, especially in verses 4 and 5, what he's going to explain, it's quite unbelievable actually. And because it's quite unbelievable, he's preparing us by saying that you need to learn to put faith here. So what is he explaining in verse 4 and 5? Unbelievable phenomena. In the text number 4, he says, Maya datam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murdhina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham tesho sthita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So everything rests on me. Correct? And I am all-pervasive. And in the very next verse, he says, Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram bhuta brhannacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavana. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me.
That's an odd one. What does it mean?
It's paradoxical.
Sort of, yes.
It's paradoxical. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So he says here, Matsthani sarva bhutani. All living entities are in me.
Correct. That's okay.
In text 4 he says, Matsthani sarva bhutani. All living entities are in me. And text number 5 he says, Nacha matsthani bhutani. Direct contradiction. And yet, all living entities do not rest in me. See, how do you understand this? This is very interesting here. See, text number 4 highlights one aspect of God's personality, and text number 4 highlights one aspect of God's personality, and text number 5 highlights another aspect of God's personality. Both exist simultaneously. See, you must have heard, from people, or growing up, you must have heard in various places from various people. People sometimes say God is energy, God is light. Some others say God is situated in everyone's heart. And then there are others who say that God is a person and he is situated in the form of his Archa Vigraha in the temple. So it might look as if these are different conceptions of God. But ultimately, these are different aspects of the same one person, God. So one is the energy understanding of God, another is the Parmatma understanding of God, and another is the Bhagwan aspect of God, the third one. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdate, it is explained. That the one absolute truth, God, has three aspects to his personality. Brahman, energy aspect, Paramatma aspect, all-pervasive aspect, and then Bhagwan, God as a person. See, a gross analogy to understand this is, I don't know whether it is true still or not, but when you are active as the MD and CEO of Kotak Mahindra Bank, it's not that you can be present in all the branches of the country. You can't be. You're situated in your head office in Mumbai, or maybe you're at your home, could be. But your presence is felt in all the centers. So are you present in all the centers? At one level you are. But at another level you're not.
Correct.
Through your energy.
Physically not there.
Through your influence.
Principles, influence.
influence.
Yeah.
You're there. See, that's the connection of God with this energy.
I see.
See, that's what Krishna is telling in this text number 4. He's telling that everything is situated within me. I'm all-pervasive.
Hmm.
And still, beyond being all-pervasive within the creation, I have got my personality that is distinct from the creation.
Hmm.
So, Deepak Gupta ji is present in all the branches of Kotak Mahindra Bank. At the same time, Deepak Gupta ji as a personality is present at the head office in Mumbai and maybe situated at his home.
Hmm.
And when you take all this into consideration, then I'll be able to understand your personality in full.
Correct.
See, certain people, they simply focus on the energy aspect of God. Nothing wrong with it, but their understanding is incomplete. And certain other people simply focus on the personal aspect of God. Even that is incomplete. If I simply see you in Mumbai, then I won't understand the range of your power. Right? I'll simply take you as a person living in Bombay, but I won't have an understanding of the range of your influence, the range of your energies. At the same time, if I simply experience your presence in your various branches all throughout India, I'll have an incomplete understanding of you. I won't have an understanding of who you are as a person.
Correct.
Both have to be taken simultaneously. Then you have a complete understanding of that personality.
Yeah.
So Krishna is first making us aware that these are the two aspects of his personality.
Fair enough. I think logical.
Logical, isn't it? See, the Brahman aspect of God is being highlighted a lot in the scriptures. So I would like to read a few verses from the Upanishads here. I think it's from the Mundaka Upanishad. Hiranyamaye pare koshe virajam brahma vishkalam tachubram jyotisham jyotis tadyad atma vido vidu. So Mundaka Upanishad explains that Hiranyamaye pare koshe, it describes this bright light, Brahman, Brahma Jyoti it is called. The brilliant white light which is the source of all energies. That is described in the Mundaka Upanishad. Nadatro Surya Bhati na Chandra Tarakam. We'll explain that in the spiritual sky, which is lit up by the Brahma Jyoti, there's no need of Surya
or
Chandra and all artificial luminaries. Tameva Bhanti Anubhati Sarvam. All light that you find within this world is nothing but a reflection of the Brahma Jyoti. So if you, the Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, etc., it explains that the sun is nothing but it is emitting the light of the Brahma Jyoti only. The material existence is dark by nature and it is illuminated by the Brahman energy emitted through the sun. And from materially speaking, the sun is the source of all energy and the source of all light which we find in this universe.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Indirectly, the source of all energy and the source of all light is Brahma Jyoti. Your sun is emitting the light of Brahma Jyoti only according to the Brahma Gayatri. So, Brahmaye Vedam Amritam Purastad Brahma Paschad Brahma Dakshinaschotrena. So, this Hiranyamaya, this light, brilliant light, is the source of all energy, is the source of all light, and this is one of the aspects of God's personality. And it is substantiated by the Upanishads, 100%. But what is this light? So, in the Ishopanishad, a more deeper understanding is given of this light. Hiranyamayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drishyaye. So, Ishopanishad, it's in the form of prayers. So, somebody is offering prayer to God here. Hiranyamayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham. He is requesting God, please reduce the glare of your Brahma Jyoti so that I can see mukham, your face. See, it's like,
Actually, that's one of the reasons. I don't know whether you remember Tirumala, Tirupati. Actually, part of the face is covered, because the radiance of the face is so very heavy, it should not blind you.
Oh wow, that's such a sweet understanding,
Yes,
actually.
yes.
So even in the morning, when we were coming here, if you remember, a lot of vehicles coming from the opposite direction, they had their headlights on.
Correct, yeah.
And because of that, I remember you were doing like this.
Yeah.
Because the light is there, you can't see the road properly.
Yeah.
See, basically this prayer of Ishopanishad is telling that unless you lower your Brahma Jyoti, I won't be able to see your face.
Face only.
See, through this prayer, of the Ishopanishad, which is one of the most important Upanishads, we come to know a deeper understanding of this Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is nothing but the effulgence coming from the form of God. This is a deeper understanding of Brahmajyoti. That it is light coming from God's being, from the personal form of God, right? And even in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 14th chapter, Krishna will say in the future, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya avyayasya cha. That I am the foundation of Brahman. Brahman effulgence comes from me. He makes it very clear. So, as we go deeper into the scriptures, we come to know that the source of Brahman is also God. See, Brahman is energy, Brahman is light, and the source of it is the personal form of God, ultimately. But the personal form of God exists separate from his energy. See, the energy and the energetic are inseparable. See, energy, it has its source in the energetic. And energetic is meaningless without the energy.
Without the energy, yes.
Now, can you call somebody energetic if that person doesn't have an energy?
Correct.
So, from one perspective, energy and energetic are the same. So, from that perspective, Krishna is all pervasive through his energies. At the same time, he has his personality that is distinct from his energies.
From the energy itself.
So, this is revealed in text number 4 and 5 here. Now, apart from these two, Brahman and Bhagwan aspect, personal form of God is Bhagwan. In between, there is something called the Parmatma. Parmatma is God expands himself to accompany all living entities. He is situated within the heart of every living entity. That is the Paramatma aspect of God. So, Krishna is giving here in the 9th chapter a deeper understanding of his personality beyond his energies. That is why it's a very confidential part of Gita's instruction. And then he says, understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. Correct? So, he explains about his energies initially. A son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. And then he says, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena gaunteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. It's under the complete control of Sri Krishna. O son of Kunti, it is producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. And then he says, Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashrita param bhava jananto mama bhutameshwaram. He says, he calls mudha. Those people, fools, deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme lord of all that be. See, there are a lot of theories saying that Krishna is an ordinary person, this, that, and everything. So Krishna is saying that no, just because I'm coming as an ordinary person doesn't mean that I'm not God. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. See, oftentimes people have this misconception.
He's like ordinary citizen, you and me.
Yeah. And people have this conception that a form is superimposed upon God. Because human beings, we interact with other human beings. We superimpose a human form on God. I think this is called anthropomorphism.
No idea.
Something along these lines. It's a school of philosophy. That's the understanding that is a lot of people hold. But no, see, it's very interesting. Again, the concept of perennial philosophy. Ultimately, all the religions of the whole world, they are based on a common foundation. So if the Gita and the scriptures, Vedic scriptures are explaining that God has a form, ultimately he has a form and the energy is emanating from him, then naturally a similar conclusion should be present in other scriptures of the world also. And it's very interesting that in the Bible there is a statement which says that man is created in the image of God. Man is created in the image of God. Means what? God has created man in his own image. So God comes first and then the image of man comes.
Correct.
It's not that human beings imagine a God. It's the other way around. So Bible leaves you at that. Even Jesus Christ says that I have got much more to say, but you are not yet ready for it. So Christianity, the Bible just gives you an understanding that God has a form which is very similar to human beings, and He has created human beings in His own form.
But He has created the human being.
He has created the human being in His own form. That means the form of God is original. And it doesn't give details of that form. But in the Vedas, in the Vedic scriptures, in the Gita, etc., a vivid description of that form is given. That God is bluish black in complexion, He wears a peacock feather on His head, He plays a flute. These details are given in the Vedas and the Vedic scriptures, but they are all on the same lines. That ultimately God is a person. And energies come from Him, light comes from Him, energy comes from Him. This is very important to understand. So
what it is saying really is God is a unique person who may come in human form once in a while. It's not that there is a human person who human imagination has made into a God.
See, the word avatar, aroha, avaroha. Aroha means to ascend, avaroha means to descend. So the word avatar itself means one who descends. So the Vedic understanding is God is eternally situated in the spiritual sky. Once in a while, He descends in His original form. That is explained here. So, param bhavam ajananto mama bhutameshwaram, he explains. And then he says, Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadinam. O son of Pratha, those are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. It's explained broadly. The energies of God is divided into three: internal energy, external energy, and Tata. What is Tata? Tata is bank of a river. It's a very interesting word here. The bank of a river, sometimes it becomes part of the land.
I see.
Sometimes it becomes part of the river. When there is a high tide, it becomes part of the river. When there is low tide, it becomes part of the land. So similarly, the living entities are called Tatastha Shakti.
Oh, I see.
Either we can be part of the external energy or we can be part of the internal energy. When we are part of the external energy, we are averse to God, and then we experience misery, sufferings, etc. But when we turn towards the internal energy of God, by surrendering to Him, we come under the purview of Ananda, Sat, Chit and Ananda. We become eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. So the choice is ours. And people who are Mahatmas, they have taken shelter of the internal energy of God, Devi Prakriti. Bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadin avyayam. Without deviation, they are completely absorbed in me. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. And what is the activity of such Mahatmas? It's explained in the next verse. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhravrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasati. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So he's beginning to explain his connection with his devotees in these verses. He explained about his personal form, now his interaction with his devotees. So we are entering into the confidential aspects of his personality now.
What I like, what I don't like, or who I like and who I don't like.
Yeah, so he's explaining the activities of people who are devoted to him. They're constantly absorbed in him. It's explained here. And then he explains about other people who may not be on this particular level. See, in this world, certain people are absorbed in. See, in this particular section of the Gita, Krishna is going to make a comparison between other paths like Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, vis-a-vis Bhakti Yoga. Correct? And then in the next verse, he says, others who engage in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge, worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. So they got a different understanding of God. But then, they are also worshipping me only, but more indirectly. That he'll explain in the next verse. But it is I who am the ritual. People who are more absorbed in sacrifices, etc., yajnas, etc., rather than directly worshipping me, he's telling that they are worshipping me only, but more indirectly. It is I who am the ritual, I am the sacrifice, the offering to ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant, I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Ultimately, I am
Directly
everywhere.
or indirectly, I'm there.
Yeah, directly or indirectly, you can't avoid him. Correct? Pitahamasya jagato. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the sport, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. What about people who are not into jnana, but who are more into going to the heavenly planets? Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. See, ananya sintayanto mam yejana pariyupasati tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyam. The last part of this verse, yogakshemam mahamyam. Does it sound familiar?
LIC.
LIC. Krishna should have copyrighted the Gita. They just picked it up right from Gita verse. Yogakshemam mahamyam. What does yogakshemam mahamyam mean?
Mm-hmm.
That I carry what you lack and preserve what you have.
Wow.
And Krishna is telling, why are you doing so many other things? Directly turn towards me and surrender to me. And you absorb yourself in me and you'll be taken care of. Ananyas chintayantaman, without any other deviation, just become absorbed in me. Ananyas chintayantamam ye jana pariyupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam. For a person just thus fixed in devotion, their material needs are automatically taken care of. Yogakshema mahamyam. See, there was this Acharya, his name was Arjuna Acharya. So this Arjuna Acharya was a grahastha, he was a family person, and he was very poor. He was very poor. And then one day he is reading the Bhagavad Gita and he comes across this verse, Yogakshema vahamyaham. Vahamyaham actually means I personally carry what my devotee lacks. So Arjuna Acharya thought, seriously, will Krishna personally carry for his devotee? Vahamyaham. He thought, somewhere down the line, like Chinese whisper, somebody might have meddled with the verse of the Gita. A more appropriate rendition would be Dadamyaham. Dadamyaham means I'll provide, but more indirectly, through somebody, like that. It's more indirect. So he struck that particular verse. He struck Vahamyaham and replaced it with Dadamyaham. Yeah. And then it was time for him to go, for Bhiksha. So he went out. And his wife was at home. So after he left, after a while, there was a knock on the door. And the wife of Arjuna Acharya, she opens the door and she finds two beautiful kids. One is white in complexion and another is dark in complexion. And they have brought bundles and bundles of ration, fruits, grains, so many other things which are required for them to maintain their livelihood. And they say that Arjuna Acharya, your husband has sent all this for you. And the wife is very happy. She takes all those commodities. And she's very attracted to these boys. And she tells them that, why don't you stay back a little? I'll cook and I'll serve you. And you can eat and then you can leave from here. You can take lunch and then you can go. And the black boy says, no. We have to quickly deliver all these things and we have to quickly escape from this place. Why? She asks. Your husband? He will beat us. And the black boy shows his back. There are marks, strike marks on his back.
I see.
There are strike marks on his. He will beat us, so we have to escape from this place quickly. So the wife, she's confused. And then these boys leave. And then Arjuna Acharya, he comes And that day he hasn't found anything in Bhiksha. He returns empty-handed and he's wondering, what is going to happen today. And then he's surprised. So many things are at home. And the wife tells him, Dad, you already sent all these things. But before I cook for you, tell me, why did you beat those boys? Arjuna Acharya is wondering, did I beat somebody? What is happening here? It's completely confused. And then he puts 2 and 2 together. And then he sees, actually every verse of the Gita is not different from Shri Krishna. It's not different from Shri Krishna. If we actually read it in that consciousness, that is there, it will actually uplift our consciousness. See, one of the principles of raising our consciousness to Sattva Guna is regular scriptural study. If we somehow are able to fully focus our mind on the verses of the Gita when you are reading it, immediately we will experience something very high, which you can't experience by reading any mundane subject matters. So, through this, Krishna wanted to show to Arjuna Acharya and for all people for all time to come that the words of the Gita are not different from him, and also that he really means it.
Correct.
Yokshem Vahamyam. He personally carries for his duties. It's a very personal relationship. So, this is confidential knowledge. See how you get a deeper understanding of God's personality. How he's so personal. See, this is the beauty of God. God is not God simply because he is powerful and he is a supreme creator. God is God because of his extraordinary power to love every soul. Every soul as if that person is the only individual. See, it is explained that when Shri Krishna used to take his lunch with his covered boyfriends on the bank of the Yamuna. So Krishna had so many friends, covered boys, and they used to surround him, and Krishna used to sit in the center of it. Like Krishna was like the whirl of a lotus, and they were like petals of the lotus. It's explained that when Krishna used to take lunch in this way, and they used to joke with each other while eating food. Every covered boy used to get this understanding that Krishna is looking only at me. Even those boys who are at the back, they used to feel that Krishna is turning back and looking at me. See, this is the power of Shri Krishna. He has that power. See, in this world, we have a tough time sharing our resources, sharing our love also. See, oftentimes, when a parent has more than one child, children often feel that, parents are partial.
Correct.
Even amongst limited children, 2 or 3 children, I have heard that nowadays, though, when a second child is born, the first child goes into depression. I'm not being loud. See, they got limited capacity, but God is God because of his...
Even during the Rasagarbha, if you remember,
yes,
each gopi feels that he's actually dancing with me. And in a different pose.
Yes. So Krishna, that is the power of Shri Krishna, his ability to personally carry and love every living entity. So these are confidential aspects of God's personality here. So, and then Krishna is telling, Yanti deva vratan devan pitrun yanti pitruvrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajino pimam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth amongst the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. See, basically Krishna is, making it very clear that, turn towards me.
Yeah, you can do everything else, but you will go there.
Yeah.
If you need liberation, you have to come to
You have to come to me. And you'll come to me. That's what Krishna is telling. And then, Krishna is going to explain future group of verses also. Maybe we'll take it in our next session.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. How do you get to know God? For that matter, how do you get to know any person? You need to understand the person beyond the superficial. You have to know the person intensely and deeply. The likes, dislikes, the range of influence and the relationships of the person. In short, the personality of the person. Krishna reveals these idam gyan
that is, the most confidential knowledge about himself in these verses. Krishna promises that once we know and understand these, we will be liberated from all inauspicious things. Krishna mentions that all living entities are in him, and yet, paradoxically, all living entities don't rest in him. There are two different personalities of God, and they exist simultaneously. We are told about the three aspects of God: the Brahman, which is the energy aspect; the Parmatma, which is the all-pervasive aspect; and the Bhagwan, which is God as a person. To understand God, we need to understand the energy aspect as well as the range of influence through his presence. The source of all energy, or Brahman, is God, and so also is the energetic form of the personality. We are told about the energy of God in three parts: the internal energy, where you are averse to God; the external energy, where you surrender to God to gain eternal happiness; and the third part, which is sometimes internal and at times external. Krishna beautifully explains his relationship with his devotees. I carry what you lack and preserve what you have. He urges us to leave everything and just focus on him, and he will take care of everything. If we become absorbed in devotion to him, the material needs are automatically taken care of. God is God, not only because he is so powerful, but also because of his ability to love every soul in a seemingly one-to-one relationship. In summary, the confidential message is that if we leave everything and turn towards God, we will get to live with him permanently.